Hey everyone, this is part 2 of a 3-part video series on how to buy a house. And today we're going to answer 2 questions, steps 3 and 4, and that is, do you need to hire a real estate agent to buy a house? And how to make an offer on a house. Coming up. Welcome to Real Estate Conversations. My name is Danny. Whether you are looking to buy, sell, or invest in real estate, the purpose of this channel is to bring you value, knowledge, and wisdom so that you can build wealth using real estate. And today I want to jump right into it. Step 3 of how to buy a house. And that is, do you need to hire a real estate agent to buy a house? The answer? No. You can probably find your own house by yourself online at the palm of your hands. There are so many apps out there that you can download. There's Redfin, there's Realtor.com, there's Zillow, there's Trulia. There's a ton of applications that you can download where you can search for your house. Nowadays, you can even filter out certain things that you want on your house. So maybe you have a $250,000 price limit or maybe $500,000 price limit. You can set that filter to look at houses that fit within that price range. Or you can even select whether you want an HOA or not, whether you want to have a pool, yes or no, whether you want to have certain number of bedrooms, 3 or 4 baths, whatever it is, etc., etc. You can filter all of these things out and find your dream home all by yourself. And so part 2 of my answer is that you don't really need a real estate agent to help you buy a house, because you can probably look online. There are a plethora of how-tos online I'm sure you can find if you Google search how to buy a house without a real estate agent or how to sell a house without a real estate agent, and there is going to be so much information, so many blog posts, probably even videos on how to do this on your own. I do believe, however, that great real estate agents can bring you value. Notice I said great. It is your responsibility as a buyer or a seller or an investor to make sure you interview a couple of real estate agents, maybe even ask for some referrals, ask other friends or family members who they've used in the past and how pleased they were with their services, because you want to make sure that you hire someone that can be in your corner helping you out, knowing that they are going to put your needs before their own, before even a commission or before any other financial reward, that you would know that this real estate agent truly cares about your needs and your outcome. Where I believe a great real estate agent can bring you value is through their market knowledge. I know that you can use these apps that I mentioned earlier to find houses that have sold in the neighborhood, recent sales, maybe 3 months, 6 months ago, so that you can kind of get an idea of what the market looks like. But what you don't have access to is finding out how houses sold. And that really matters, because what agents understand is that, for example, if somebody purchased a house and a house sold via cash offer, we understand that that house probably sold for less than market value because the buyer came in with a full cash offer. And there were probably no need for closing costs. There was probably no need for other financial help from the seller. So the buyer was able to negotiate a lower price because they were probably also able to close within a couple of days rather than a month or a month and a half. Another thing that you probably can't see through these apps is how much sellers are providing in a certain area for closing costs. We can see that information and we can understand how the trend is going and how the market in a certain neighborhood is going, and whether sellers are providing closing costs or whether they're not. And this makes a difference in how you can come in with an offer. Because if you're buying in a neighborhood where sellers are not providing closing costs, you have to understand that your offer has to reflect something similar to that. Because chances are that if another buyer comes in and they're not asking for closing costs when you are, chances are that the seller is going to look at their offer favorably instead of yours. Please do me a favor. Do not call the listing agent to go see a house and make an offer through them. Now, I know that when you call them, they're going to be kind, they're going to be courteous, they're going to be ethical. I believe that about these real estate agents. But the thing is that a listing agent is looking out for the best interest of his client, and that client is the seller, not the buyer. So you have to understand that when you come in and you make an offer, you call the sign that's outside at the front door and you're calling them and wanting to make an offer through them. You have to understand that the way negotiations are going to go, they're going to go in the favor of the seller. So I want to encourage you, make sure you start researching for a real estate agent. And the thing that you must know as well as a buyer is that you're not going to have to pay your real estate agent. Most listing agreements have stated that whatever the listing fee is, that is going to be split with the buyer's agent. So I think that is incredibly valuable, but that doesn't mean that you can just hire anybody. You can't just hire your uncle and they only do 1 or 2 deals a year. They don't really understand how the market is changing. They're not really practicing as often. So I want to encourage you, make sure you find someone that is practicing on a daily basis and understanding their market and their area and these contracts as well, so that you can be well represented when you make an offer. Step 4 on buying a house is making an offer. Question that I get asked a lot is, how much should I offer? This is where a great real estate agent will come in handy, because what you want is, just as I mentioned before, you want to make sure that you're working with somebody that knows the market well. And because they know the market well, they know how much houses are selling for in that particular neighborhood that you are offering on. Now, I know that you want the best deal out there, and I get that. If you could get that house for 50% off, you would do it, and so would I. But what I want you to get is that you can't just go to a house and lowball on a house, because what's going to happen is maybe the sellers won't take you seriously, or maybe they might get a little bit offended. I will probably get a little bit offended. Maybe they won't even consider any other future offers that you have to make, because they probably would be a little bit turned off negotiating and working with you. So my encouragement is, hey, make sure you make the best offer that you can possibly. Your real estate agent will give you this advice. And my advice to you is that you would trust them. Now I know what you're thinking. They're probably getting paid 2 or 3%. So it's in my buyer's agent's best interest to make the biggest offer possible, because that means he's going to get a bigger commission check. Let me tell you this, for every $10,000, whether it's lower or higher, there is probably a $200 to $300 difference in the commission. That's not a whole lot. That's not enough incentive for an agent to want to mess their buyers up by making a higher offer. So my encouragement is, trust your agent, do your own research as well. Look at the houses that have sold in that neighborhood within the last 3 months, maybe 6 months at the most. And that way you can get an understanding as well of why you're making the offer that your agent is recommending you make. Hey, that's it for today's video. If this video helped you, please like, share, comment, or consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. Love you guys, and I'll see you on the next video.